You know what it's about time to do. It's Formal Friday. Fun Friday. Who wants to join in? Who's got their webcams ready? And you don't have to dress up. It's only if you're up to it. So, invite time. Who wants to join the stream? We'll paste the link in there. ASC, but PBR, we might be the wiser because I'm throwing open the invitation to anyone who wants to join the stream now. All you have to do is click on that link. You've got a webcam or a phone or whatever, and you can join in because it's Friday. So why shouldn't we have a bit of a fun time? So I also need to get my Applejack and Cointreau. Okay, Lee's coming in. Number one with a bullet. Lee, how are you? Oh, no audio. Don't know what you're doing. He's smiling. That's nice. Yes, so I've got to get my Applejack and asking for suggestions from the audience. I have 2 orange liqueurs. I have Cointreau, which is a fairly well-known orange liqueur, and I have an Italian blood orange liqueur, which is a slightly different flavor to regular oranges. They're both very good. Suppose if I use the blood orange, then I could call it bloody orange to apple. Apples to bloody oranges cocktail. Makes it sound, and also using an Aussie vermouth. So that would work. Megaleech, hello. Megaleech with his Midori sour. How you going, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Good. Okay, Beatles fan thinks I should be. Okay, got to use blood orange because then I can call it the bloody cocktail, which makes it very Aussie. So, all right. So I got Medini. I've got, see, these are the special bourbons I'm using from the little Christmas gift pack.
Oh, yeah. Where'd Lee go?
I don't know. He's having technical problems. And no sound. So this is Baker's, aged 7 years, 53.5% alcohol. So overproof. Lee's gonna take 2 from Lee. Take 2. How you going, Lee?
It's working.
It is. It's working. Hurrah.
Different device.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And this one is aged
Tried
8.
using my Linux computer. It didn't work.
Is there meant to be this much head on this with the egg white?
Oh, okay. Yeah, you put egg white does make it very foamy. Yeah.
It's like mostly egg white.
Yeah.
Foam. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably depends on what you mix it with. And I've never really tried it with Midori. Maybe Midori's prone to go really foamy. I don't know.
Don't know. I've never had a sour before, so this is an experience.
One of my favorites. So I've got an aged 7 years overproof bourbon, an aged 8 years standard proof bourbon, and aged a week or 2 Jim Beam. How long do they age Jim Beam? I think there is actually a law about how long it has to be aged to be called bourbon.
Don't know it off the top of my head.
Neither do I.
Aidsy is usually pretty handy with that, isn't he?
No, he's pretty handy at stating things very definitively. They're not always supported by evidence. But yeah, no, I'm going to do the Wikipedia for God's sake, fingers work. Bourbon. Okay, so bourbon whiskey, definition thereof. American whiskey from corn. Name bourbon. Bourbon may be made anywhere in the United States. $2.7 billion worth of bourbon sold within the US each year. Okay, history, distilling. Legal requirements. Legal definition varies from country to country. Bourbons in the United States do not apply to Canadian law, blah, 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 blah. Produced in the United States, made from at least 51% corn, aged in new charred oak containers, no more than 160 proof. Jesus Christ, so 80%. Some bourbons are apparently 80%. Entered in the container aging at no more than 125 proof. Bottled at 80 proof or more. So, yeah, it has to be 40% alcohol to me. So it doesn't actually say, no minimum specified for its aging period. Products
I've got some info here.
Aged as little as 3 months of salted bourbon. Okay, what info?
Yep, that's the one.
Three
that's
months.
it. Little as 3 months, yeah.
Okay, so, yes, the Jim Beam was aged in a cask for... Actually, why don't I look up the Jim Beam website? They'd say it. Unless it really is only 3 months, they'd probably want to sweep that under the carpet.
Is it called a straight bourbon, that one? Because for a straight bourbon, it must be 2 years.
Okay, Jim Beam, our bourbon. The world's #1 bourbon. Learn more. Probably because it's cheap.
What do you do with the foam? Do you eat it with a spoon, or?
Yeah, you could do that. 4 years. Oh, there you go.
This could only end in disaster.
Jim Beam aged their bourbon for the standard bourbon for 4 years. So I've got a 4-year, a 7-year, and an 8-year aged bourbon. So, okay. There we go. Okay, so I've got the components. Because I'm going to make this a video for my cocktail channel, so I will actually have to go and get my camera. So you chat amongst yourselves. I'll be a minute or two doing a setup.
How you been, Lee?
I've been good. I got a distinction in my latest uni work. That was
nice.
pretty good.
What subject was that in?
Communication for academic purposes.
Nice. What's the, is it a diploma, a bachelor or something? What are you doing? What's the course?
Foundation studies in business.
Business, okay. Nice.
And then I'm doing a bachelor after that.
Very good. It's a long time ago since I've been in formal education. So. Yes.
Apparently, people that do get educated with a bachelor don't miss it when when it's over.
I did half a year of a bachelor in engineering, and I hated engineering. I couldn't stand it, but I got a high distinction in computers for engineers, and computers were always my second love. I was going to go into aeronautical engineering because I liked aircraft. But with the high distinction, it was like, well, it seems obvious that I should go into computing, and so I did, and became a technician and started my own business, and then we had a car accident, so that stopped that. So, that's as bad as it sounds.
I've been hit by a car before. Not fun.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I don't think I'll get into that though.
Alrighty. Getting ready, get my truck, got my camera and tripod down.
I can hear crying in the back.
Can I hear a cat?
No, it's my son crying.
Oh, Jesus. That makes me sound like a shithead.
Shut your cat up. It's like, no, it's not my cat.
I was like, oh my God. Is someone putting tins down a garbage disposal? No, it's my wife singing. Oh my God. Oh, socially awkward. Oh God. Okay. So, got to train.
No, Yoko Ono singing, Yoko, stop singing.
No one's going to sing worse than me.
Yes, I don't think we should put that to the test tonight. So.
I was actually I was a very good boy soprano. I could really hold really high notes. Then my voice broke, and
This is when you were an altar boy.
Yes, yeah, because an altar boy, and I never had any voice training after that, and so I cannot fucking sing now. I cannot stay in tune. I'm really bad. Right, got my audio recorder, camera. How are you looking, camera? Oh, by sheer bloody luck, I've just about got the camera right.
You've been in ISO too long, Camry. The camera's not going to talk back.
What? You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. I've had cameras talk back at me before.
It's not FaceTime.
No, okay. Oh my God, at work today, like I never have the camera on in the work meetings. I just, doing voice calls with everyone. And then I had a one-on-one meeting in the afternoon. This other guy said it, and we started up, and he's on camera, and I'm going, oh no, now I'll be a jerk if I don't switch my camera on. So I had to switch my camera on.
And you're like, no, I'll just be a jerk.
Yeah, no, I was tempted. I was really tempted, but
and you're in your pajamas, weren't you?
No, I'd actually had a shower, which is a minor friggin' miracle.
Oh, so naked, right?
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, totally appropriate. Yeah.
Totally appropriate. Totally appropriate.
Oh dear.
Okay. So,
almost set.
Okay, camera is looking good. Now I've got to get audio recorder. Okay, I'll get the drinks ready. Salerno. This is the blood orange liqueur. There are other ones on the Cointreau actually make a blood orange one, but this is just a Dan Murphy's. It's called Salerno. Oh, it's good on ice.
Would you be able to substitute that for triple sec?
Well, triple sec's just orange. So Cointreau, triple sec, Curacao, they all taste very similar. Cointreau make a blood orange one. It's just a slightly different flavor.
So yes, you could use that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. In fact, the recipe says to use triple sec, so
Okay.
But I'm just being different. So I've got the Salerno, I've got the vermouth, bourbon. What was the other component? Use the brain, Angry. Be really clever. It's Applejack, American apple brandy. Right. The recipe actually said Calvados, which is French apple brandy, but I don't have any Calvados at the moment. That is the trivia. I read up on all this shit, so I sound like, I'm a really knowledgeable alcoholic. The French tend to make their apple brandy from more tart apples, and the Americans tend to make it from sweeter apples. So the American Applejack is a bit sweeter than the French Calvados. They're both good.
Are you saying the French are tarts?
The French are tarts and the Americans are sweeties.
You heard it here, folks.
You heard it here. Yes, this from the man who kept talking about white Negronis. So,
Well, as long as it doesn't taste as bad as their coffee, I'm fine.
I don't like coffee at all. So
yeah, same.
Every time I'm going through cocktail recipes and I see coffee as an ingredient, I go, ew, no, coffee, ew, gross, terrible drink, get away.
Right. Coffee and a depressant, not exactly a good idea.
Yeah. So this is a stirred drink. I've got my stirring thing ready. I'm ready. Wait, where's my? I've got my zombie blindfold here because I'm going to blind taste test again. Get Mrs. Angry to give them to me, and I have to try and guess which bourbon is which, if I can tell any difference. Because with the simpler one, the Manhattan, I knew exactly which was which, but that's a much simpler drink. This is a more complex drink, and that might mask the different bourbons more. So science, this is not Angry wants to have 3 cocktails in front of him at once. This is in the name of science.
If only had an extra arm, then you could hold them all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, if only I had one more hand, I could. I'm definitely going to post. Double fisting is my thing at the moment. I think I've done it in almost every video. There's like one of them I didn't double fist in. So
that's on that other site that you use, isn't it?
yes. Join Angry Aussie for double fisting action. Yes. Back on my double fisting bullshit. Yes. Okay. Right. So camera, be ready.
So you're muting us, I assume.
I am going to mute you, but everyone, what I'll do is I'll just mute my sound so you guys can talk and everyone will be able to hear you. I'll keep my thing running while I do foolish shenanigans. So you can mock me while I'm doing that. And then I'll watch it back on YouTube tomorrow and hire a hitman to get you both.
Oh, no, as long as it's not Mick Gatto, I'm happy.
All
Actually,
right,
if you look close enough, I've doxed myself. So
yeah. Volume. Where's volume? All right. So, okay, I'll put you guys talk. I've got volume down to 0, so you'll get to see me acting silly and doing double takes and whatnot, and eventually double fisting. So, got to get my audio recorder happening. Zoom. The faithful Zoom. I've had this for, I don't know, 10 years, 12 years. Still
got
kicking
the
on.
sock thing that you put on it, right? The furry sock.
Yeah, dead cat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big hairy thing to stop wind. Yeah. But I don't need it because I'm indoors. All right, so that's ready. Camera ready.
There's a joke there about some big hairy thing to stop wind, but I'm not gonna. No.
Why can I still hear you?
Do you want us to like mute ourselves and we'll just pantomime?
This is really weird. I just said, put my speakers down to 0, and I only just realized I could still hear you.
Yeah. Testing.
Yeah, no, it's still there.
Testing. Still testing.
Yes.
Yeah. Still hear us?
What could I do? Camera, audio.
You close the laptop.
No, I don't want to do that. Okay. Now I bet I can't hear you now.
Okay. Testing.
Yeah.
Testing.
So,
okay.
I don't know if people in chat. I can't hear you, but I think people in chat will still hear you. But I really don't know. So yeah, you can just pull faces.
So, if he shows his face while we do this, we could actually do a dub over what he's saying. What do you reckon, Lee?
Yeah.
Do you want to play Mrs. Angry, or should I?
All right. Right. Now to the camera. Get that out.
I was going to do it, but he actually just did one himself.
That's my dinner coming back now. Oh, Jesus. Pull talk.
I don't think I can beat what he's actually doing.
Yeah, total soft truth.
G'day, cocktail lovers. Welcome back. Glad you could be with me again. I am doing another taste test with expensive bourbons versus common everyday bourbon to see if I can tell the difference. Because I'd always been of the mind that it didn't matter if you used cheaper regular ingredients or more expensive ingredients in cocktails, because I thought you couldn't tell the difference. That was a lie, because I was able to tell the difference between the cheaper Jim Beam bourbon and the more expensive Jim Beam small batch and overproof. And I did think the more expensive ones were better. And that was in a Manhattan, which is a classic and quite simple drink. And because of the little gift pack I got, there were 2 more to go. This is a Baker's 7-year aged bourbon, 55% alcohol, so that's an overproof bourbon. And this one, Basil Hayden's Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, that's aged 8 years. It's just 40% bourbon. And they've got the standard Jim Beam, which according to the website is aged 4 years, also 40%. So I thought maybe if I make a more complex cocktail, then the flavor profile of the bourbons wouldn't be as noticeable. We'll see. Once again, I will be getting Mrs. Angry to help me with a blind taste test after I make them. But first, I have to make them. Now, the cocktail I'm going to make, I'm adapting a recipe I saw that was called apples to oranges. It said to use Calvados, which is French apple brandy, which I don't have, but I have American Applejack apple brandy, so I'm using that. and it said to use an orange liqueur like Grand Marnier. I have a few orange liqueurs. I'm going to use a blood orange liqueur called Salerno from Italy, and vermouth and bourbon. And I'm going to use an Australian vermouth, and that gives me the excuse to make it a very Aussie named with the blood orange. I'm calling this an apples to bloody oranges because it's got to have that Aussie vibe in it. So without further ado, I'm going to make the first cocktail.
Where the bloody orange apples, yeah.
Get a measuring, and I've forgotten what the recipe is. 1 shot Calvados, 1 shot bourbon, 3/4 shot vermouth, 1/2 shot Grand Marnier. Okay, get another burp out of the way.
One for the glass, one for me. No?
This is a fairly simple recipe, starting off with 1 shot, 1 ounce, 30 mils of bourbon from the really stylish, enormous bottle from Costco. And that's too much.
You should just play it off as a normal size bottle. Put it up to his head.
A little bit
Put it
more.
up to his head, because his head's quite big.
Yep, that's about right.
And yeah, it'll just look like a normal size bottle, right?
Okay, this is a mixed drink. So I've got my mixing glass with a couple of blocks of ice in here, and I'll chuck the bourbon in, and along with the rest of the ingredients. Oh yeah, a bit of water to wash down that bourbon. Yo mama, whoo! Okay. There's also 1 ounce of the apple brandy. I'll be a bit.
I wonder why he uses the ounces, like the empirical measures, instead of mils or, you know, 1 standard drink or whatever. You know, like,
that goes on a different level.
is it so he appeals to American audiences? You reckon, or?
More or less universal.
Maybe.
Not when they're a 1.75 litre bourbon. Okay. Now we add 3/4 of an ounce of vermouth. To your taste, the recipe said extra dry, which actually isn't to my taste. This is a medium, they call it the classic. I've discovered this make of vermouth recently. It's an Australian vermouth. Mate and I, they make a few. I've seen they do sweet, classic, and dry. I had the sweet. I finished the sweet. So I'm trying the classic for something different. So I'll be 3/4 of an ounce of the vermouth. And we're doing 1/2 an ounce of the orange liqueur. Like I said, I'm using this blood orange liqueur called Salerno. But you could use Grand Marnier, Triple Sec, Cointreau, Curacao, any of the orange liqueurs. There's a lot of them out there. They all got to add something slightly different to the drink. I thought for a bit of a spin, I'd try the blood orange. And that's all there is. No juices, nothing else, no syrups added. So we just get that stir. Get it nice and chilled, a little bit of dilution happening. Ooh. And we strain that into a chilled glass. I'm using a coupe, but, you know, really, use whatever you have on hand. Don't get too bogged down in the details like that.
Especially if you only have 2 when you need 3 for demonstration.
Very neat looking. Okay. Now to do it with the other ones. Right. So 1 ounce of. I got to remember which one's which.
I wonder if he washes the like the measuring thing is between, so that it doesn't taint the flavors of the other cocktails to keep the purity of the blind test, or just shakes it out.
This little beauty, the 8-year-old.
Yeah.
I've got to edit all this out for the sake of making the video a bit punchier. Who wants to see the same thing 3 times? Because that's only 1 ounce. There's quite a bit of that left. I can maybe make a sour with. Not necessarily tonight, because I might already be shit-faced after drinking these. 1 ounce of Applejack. Crack killed Applejack. Who remembers that hip-hop song from the 90s? Crack killed Applejack. He jumped in and he couldn't jump back. He was just too blind to see that death lives in the house.
No, I don't know it.
Like Melbourne Tram by John Safran, maybe?
Yeah, hip-hop was never really my thing, so.
Neither for me. Don't do as my thing either.
So don't forget ingredients. Don't forget ingredients. It wouldn't be a fair comparison if I screwed up the ingredients. Salerno. Okay. And we stir that little blighter. Okay, now the chilled glass.
I can't help but feel when he tastes the spoon, he can then go, oh, I see. That's got some accents of whatever. And so when he does the blind taste test, he's like, oh, yes, I remember. That was the second spoon.
Visually, look, unsurprisingly, pretty much the same. Right. So, where did I put the bottle? That's this one. And finally, the overproof. For people who want to get...
Kirsten, how is the foam? Foamy.
I'm sure a whiskey aficionado would rebuke me for that and say, no, it's not about the getting drunk. It's about the intensity of the flavour.
Wasn't about to waste it. So.
It's about getting monster pissed fast. Right.
Oh.
Bourbon.
Maybe not the sunscreen song, and my photo is putting the washing machine.
You're a little muffled.
They're very nice amp colour. They kind of look like beer. It's a very beer colour.
You're on your phone, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is your microphone sitting like down against the bench?
Yeah.
Sometimes you can turn your phone upside down and it will still record up the right way, but your microphone will be more exposed. Do you want to give that a try? That's not what I meant. No.
Are you ready to come in? Need you in about a minute.
How's that? Say something.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. We'll see if you're clearer. Here goes the taste test to ruin the surprise.
Okay. Strain that little beauty. Right. So I'll give you come through here. You won't be on camera. Quick explanation. That's the standard bourbon. That's an 8-year-old. This is a 7-year-old. So I'm going to put the mask on and then choose them at random, and I've got to try and work out which is which. All right. We'll intro. I've made the same cocktail now with standard Jim Beam, 7-year-old overproof bourbon, and an 8-year-old 80-proof bourbon. Theoretically, those are the better tasting ones. They're the much more expensive ones, but we'll see. Now I've put them in a more complex drink, whether or not I can taste the difference and which one I think tastes best. But this is going to be a blind test, and I'm not quite blind when I take off my glasses. So the zombie eyes go on. All right, and so now my lovely assistant is going to put a drink in my hand, and I am going to taste it. Okay. The initial thing where I worry that I'm not going to find my mouth.
Mrs. Angry should just give him like a cup of lemon juice or something like that. This doesn't taste quite right.
It's a very nice fruit drink. I've never made or tasted this drink. It is the apple and blood orange. It makes it very nice and fruity, as does the grape flavors from the vermouth.
Yes, I hear Angry likes a fruity drink.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
And now I want to try the third one. And then...
You should have put the zombie eyes upside down. Might really confuse the audience.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
Okay, I think I know. I think this is the overproof one, the 7-year-old one. Am I right?
You are right.
I'm right. And I think the second one was the standard GP.
Yeah.
And the first one was therefore the 8-year-old one. Huzzah! He's done it again! Now, I want to taste them again so I can decide which one I think actually tastes better. Okay, could you pass me the 8-year-old one? Because I could tell the Jim Beam. Again, none of these are bad. I want to stress that Jim Beam is not bad, but I could tell that that was the cheaper bourbon. So this is the 8-year-old. It is definitely smoother.
What if it's using the white label or the black label one? Like the Australian or the American?
Oh my God. You can tell the extra alcohol from the overproof. So I'm going to say more or less what I said last, although I actually don't know which of these is more expensive. Overproof overproof spirits generally tend to be much more expensive. That's actually a tax thing. The 8-year-old is definitely smoother, would be my preference. But again, if you are a mad bourbon drinker, if you want something with a bit of kick, you get a better kick out of, and this is not hugely overproof. This is only 55%, and some overproof bourbons will be 70% and more. But it's really noticeable. I mean, I suppose 55 is a kick up from 40%. But if you want a really serious bourbon taste, you'd probably like it with the overproof. If you're less hardcore into the whiskies, the more aged one is smooth and sweeter. The standard Jim Beam is quite nice. Mrs. Angry is not a big bourbon drinker. Your verdict? What do you think of that one? Mrs. Angry is comparing the 8-year-old and the standard Jim Beam.
Oh, just the same.
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you're not a whiskey drinker, they're just going to taste the same. And again, someone who's far more heavily into whiskey than me would have a lot more to say about this. But as a bit of a, I'm not at all expert. Can definitely tell the difference.
He's on a different camera for the thing, so that won't have ruined his recording. So
you can really tell the difference with overproof ones. So it's going to come down to your taste, really. Bit of a winning experiment, in my opinion. But again, it puts the lie to me saying what I always said: why get a more expensive ingredient? It all tastes the same when you mix it. It really doesn't. I've confirmed it with science. Can you pass me the standard Jim Beam one again? Because I haven't tasted that for a little while. And got to pose for a double fisting thumbnail because that's my thing.
He should get Mrs. Angry behind him with one of her arms reaching through, holding the third drink.
Yeah, this is
like
complex.
It have the 3 drinks going on. Triple fisting. There's a thumbnail for you.
But the others are definitely better.
Shiva.
Yes, I need to become a whiskey.
The one with many arms, isn't it, Shiva?
Look, I hope you enjoyed that comparison. It's been interesting
No,
to me
that's the-
to actually conduct
I
this
don't know.
experiment.
Don't know Hindu.
I've always said, more expensive ingredients aren't better. They kind of are. Like the bourbon I used, not the bourbon, the vermouth I used.
If they cost twice as much, are they twice as good?
More than what you have to pay to get a bottle of vermouth. There are some very cheap vermouths on the market. It's worth it. It's just so much better. And also, I'm supporting an Australian distributor with Made in I. I'm not exactly sure how they pronounce that. It is a nice beverage. These are all overall nice beverages. And I guess I know what I'm doing for the rest of the night. I hope you're looking after yourself soon. Hope to see you again soon. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Ring the bell for notifications. Let me know what your preferred bourbons or whiskeys generally are. If you've tried a similar experiment, or go out and try it and tell me about it. And do the old thumbs up. Tell your friends that they should come and subscribe too. How desperate can I sound? I could probably do that. I'll leave it there. Hope to see you again soon. Bye for now. Thank you. And thank you, people. Yeah, there you go. I promised to get you to help me one that's not bourbon at some point. So,
Yes, good.
but that was just my experiment. All right.
Is he going to unmute us? Or are they going to just keep us muted, you reckon?
What are you doing? Are you after some bourbon?
It's going to feed the cat.
Probably a drink.
Cat.
Put some catnip in it. Make a cat cocktail.
Everything back on here. Dun, 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 dun.
Have you unmuted us yet?
All
Can
right.
you hear us?
There we go. I don't know if anyone could hear you guys.
Can you hear us?
What's going on? Okay. I got to do this.
Can you hear us yet?
One other thing so I can hear you guys again.
Can you hear us?
No, that's the camera. I don't want to change that.
Can you hear us yet?
Oh, what the fuck am I doing? Honestly. Speakers.
Testing.
That one.
One,
there you go.
two,
Now I can hear you.
You can hear us? We tried
can
to
hear you.
stop you. During that entire thing, your left bollock was hanging out.
What? That was on purpose. I meant to do that. Oh, yeah. Oh, dear. All right, so we're back. Hey, so are you guys able to see the chat? I don't even know if you can see the chat.
Yes, we can.
All right, so
we're
they
kind of
can
ignoring it. Maybe we should be looking at it.
So, all right, I'm less formal Friday at this point because I'm getting stuck in the bourbon. Need my top button undone. Wait, I should put my glasses back on so I can freaking see again. Okay. Oh! Hey, where are the glasses? Look, see, the Marvin Martian tie I'm wearing tonight. So
No tie, because I was an IT guy who went out in the field. We learned
Oh, yeah.
not wear ties around the paper mill equipment.
no, that is a good plan.
No spinning equipment and ties, thank you. So
And it says bourbon used to make it very feisty. That's your excuse, is it, Annette? Yeah. Wait a sec. I got a triple fist. I've got my other drink over here. Okay. Yeah, well, that is an actual mild surprise to me that A, I could tell them all apart, and I got them right, and B, that the more expensive bourbons are definitely better.
So how much influence does once you stir and then you taste the spoon after you've done each cocktail influence your decision about which cocktail is which?
I thought that might have been cheating, but I couldn't really. That didn't help me. It's not like It's not like I remember that from when I tasted it. That didn't really help me.
Yes, we had a bit of a discussion about that, so don't watch it back. This is the last 10 minutes to you.
You're in terrible trouble. Stafford, good evening to you. And so, Annette, I didn't say fisty, and it was bourbon. No, I'm not even going there. So yeah. Oh, those serious bourbons, honestly. Whew. But all this other stuff takes the edge off the bourbon. But like this is just pure spirit. There's no juice. There's no sweetener. But it always fascinates me how when you make an all booze cocktail, rather than that making the booze more intense, if they're balanced, it kind of takes the edge off all of them. So, like, I am not a straight bourbon drinker, despite the fact that I did drink a quarter of a shot out of the jigger when I overpoured it. No, it was a half a shot, I think, actually. I'm not a straight bourbon drinker, but it takes the real burn out of the bourbon when it's mixed with these other things. What's the time? 9:20. Okay, these will see me through. Like now I look drunk. Just as soon as someone in business clothes undoes their top button and the tie's at an angle, it's like, oh man, he's fucked, isn't he? He's a little fucking pissed, that guy.
Off to one side more.
Yeah, like I'm tell you about Shirley in HR.
Flip it over the shoulder.
Yeah, like okay.
Yeah.
Fucking Shirley in HR is saying that I can't have bikini babes on the screensaver. Oh, Lee vanished. That was so weird because the way it automatically expands when someone goes out, it's like we pushed him out. That was really weird. But anyway, Ty's almost
like when I'm eating, just automatically expanding.
Yes, I'm doing a lot of that. A lot of expansion.
Yeah.
Oh, made nachos with pulled pork for dinner tonight.
Yummo.
Yum. Yeah, been to Costco and had this big thing in the frozen department, pulled pork, and I only used a really small amount of it. So I've got to come up with some more meals that have pulled pork in them now. And I have some ideas. So
just make like a burger style thing, but with pulled pork.
Wait a second. Lee's coming back. Lee, you disappeared. Now you're back.
Yeah, something about Android phones is just...
Yeah.
Although I do love Android phones.
Yeah. Yeah. So my culinary genius, I'm thinking of making something. I'm gonna like pan fry some veggies, just simple stuff like capsicum, onion, mushroom, and then mix them with some pulled pork. Put that in a baking dish and top it with mashed potato and bake that. So it's like a really mutant shepherd's pie.
You could make foddles.
Ooh, foddles. What are foddles?
Foddles. They're like a Dutch savoury pancake. So make up some pancake mix. You put your meat and corn and capsicum or whatever in there. And like chorizo or whatever. Yeah. And it just makes a savoury pancake. And you make them thicker and they're quite good.
That sounds good. I like that.
Just don't make a plastic gargle blaster. You'll be all right then.
I love PBR's description. Angry looks like after the 7th race at Flemington on the first Tuesday in November. That's spot on. That is right.
Not anymore. You'd have to be like absent, like no one. Just step aside. There we go.
And Strictly Sagas pulled pork pasta bake. Yeah. Well, I was going to do pasta bake, and young Mr. Angry said, "How about mashed potato on the top?" And I was like, "Yeah." Pulled pork shepherd's pie with veggies. Why not?
Sounds good.
Oh yeah, pulled pork burritos. I thought I saw that. That's the other thing I was thinking of doing. There's probably not enough of the pulled pork to do this bake and burritos with just pulled pork. But I might, if I make beef mince with some spices and then mix pulled pork in with that for the double banger. I might do that on the weekend. Will we get a Melbourne Cup this year? Unless something goes horribly wrong, the races will happen. I think the odds are against crowds being there. I think the race will almost definitely happen. Like, we'd have to have something really horrible and unexpected happen, so we end up like fucking America or something. And but I reckon the races will go on, but I really don't think crowds will be there. Unless between now and November, by some miracle, a vaccine's developed. And the odds are really against that. So I reckon the races will go on, but there won't be any crowd there.
Is there a pulled pork limit at Costco, Safa?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
You got this. Look, the packet is here. Tony Roma. I think that's a restaurant in New York or something. Tony Ruba's pulled pork. This is This is a single packet. Is 1.2 kilograms. So that's a lot. That's a single one is 1.2 kilos. And I don't think they care if you buy multiple packets of it. So, but they had toilet paper for the first time in a month. It was weird to me that it took them this long to get their toilet paper supply back, because the supermarkets mostly have had toilet paper for about 2 weeks. So we just had that really weird 4-week period.
I think it may be because the toilet paper producers were making the smaller, like 6 or 8 or whatever rolls, and Costco does the 40 bajillion roll packs, and they just weren't doing those.
48 rolls.
Yeah, so I think they can make more money, the TP companies, if they sell it in smaller batches, and also you can put it into more hands that way. Yeah.
Yep. Sorry, this is the overproof one. I was just going this is so noticeably overproof. It's just like, woo! Oh man. But yes, so Costco had everything. Last time I went there, they had everything but toilet paper. And the beef mince was a bit light on, but this time, like, I don't know, last time I was there was 2 weeks ago. This time they had everything, including huge amounts of toilet paper. So after that sort of really weird month where people went on a panic buying spree unnecessarily, everything's pretty much back to normal. Like,
did you stop in the cafeteria there? Get there?
No, I did not.
$1.49 hot dog?
Yeah. No, I've literally never done that.
Are they even open during this thing, like the COVID?
Takeaway only. You can get a takeaway from. So the tables are closed, but you can get a takeaway from their cafe. So, Kirsten's also saying, producers are less fond of Costco because they don't have the margin with Costco. Yeah, a pack of 6 at Woolworths is a much higher margin than a packet of 48 at Costco. That's just economics.
Yeah, the price per roll would be staggering.
Yeah. Like it's when the supermarkets will tell you how much
cents for 100 sheets or something like that.
100 sheets. Yeah. No, it's like 17 cents, and the average one in the supermarket's like about 25 cents. The cheaper ones are about 20 cents per 100 sheets. Costco, you get the big one, it's like 17 cents per 100 sheets. And when you're getting that many of them, that's a really significant margin change. So, but yeah, everything seems to be back in equilibrium now. It's kind of funny. So, fucking Dan Murphy's better stop with the 2-bottle limit. There's nothing wrong with a 2-bottle limit, quite honestly.
If you're doing online orders, do they care about the 2-bottle limit?
They only let you order 2 I know because I did an order recently.
Okay, so can you order 2 and then order 2 and then
I think
order two.
because you've got to be registered to order. I think you can only do one order a day.
Is that based on email address?
Sorry?
Based on like an account that you have an
you
email address
you
for?
have to set up an account with them to get stuff delivered.
Who doesn't have 4 or 5 email addresses?
Well, there's also the question of the credit card and the name on it, I think. But but I've got more than one credit card as well. So I don't know. But 2-bottle limit, Jesus. You don't need to buy more than 2 bottles at once. But just go back tomorrow if you need more than 2 bottles. But
then I ordered every day.
Yeah, that was like a present. I got for some reason the colors on this and just me looking a bit askew and wild. I'm getting a Harry Potter and just seeing the corners of my vest. It's looking like a Hogwarts robe. I'm getting like a Harry Potter vibe. And the glasses, I'm getting a slight Harry Potter vibe.
You need to put a scar on there.
A scar on my head. But Harry didn't. Well, Harry was in a bit better shape and didn't have the beard.
From the cursed child or whatever.
Oh yeah. Years later, but he's still wearing the Hogwarts. That's like Hogwarts color, isn't it? Like
it's role play. It's what they do. After hours.
Like,
my
let me show you my magic wand. Hey!
Dear.
That's all right. Yeah, Kirsten, who doesn't have 280 bottles of booze in the house? Not me. We counted.
You've only got 60.
Jesus. Honestly. I was mortified when I counted.
Yeah. Seriously, I've probably got less than a dozen.
Yeah, well, that's because you're a normal human.
Most of that's like cooking or wine that we've been given.
Sorry, Lee, what was that?
Someone asked me what my favourite Beatles album is. It's the one called The Beatles, actually. They call it the White Album. I prefer to call it The Beatles. Because that's the proper name for it.
Yes, that is the proper name for it, correct. I was even with how much I have, there's a shop I really like, as in, I think it's in Fitzroy, called the Bitters Lab. You can order off their website, Only Bitters. But the shop's neat because it has like hundreds of bitters, but all cocktail accoutrements as well. And I often get stuff from there. Yeah, they're in Fitzroy, Smith Street. And I was talking to the girl serving me, saying it was her parents who own the place, and she's going like, their bar is really, unsurprisingly for someone who actually has a shop that specializes in exotic cocktail stuff, their home bar is pretty stupendous. And they've even sought out, they've got really rare bottles that are worth over $1,000 each and bloody blah. And she's saying how I've got these glass cabinets. And I went, yeah, I've got about 50 bottles at home. And she just looked at me like someone who doesn't own a bottle shop but actually has, 50 different boozers at home. She looked like, yeah, I don't want to say you've got a problem, but PBR's extending the Harry Potter thing. If I keep drinking bourbon, I'll be talking parcel tongue. Be the most I can get out.
You'd have to drink one of your Python drinks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I swear, this overproof stuff, though. I'm going to make because...
All right, I better go because I've got family to look after.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks for dropping by.
Au revoir.
See ya.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. When I did the other bourbon taste test, the drink had 2 ounces of bourbon, so there wasn't much of the little bottles left. So I think there's like 3 ounces thereabouts in the bottle. This one only is 1, so it's not in it. I think I'm gonna, not necessarily tonight, maybe tomorrow night. Maybe do another live stream. Get equally fucking hammered tomorrow night. Might do a whiskey.
It's the weekend.
It is the weekend.
Weekend in Australia.
Yeah. I might make a whiskey sour with the expensive bourbons tomorrow, because a whiskey sour is a really benign drink. and I'd be interested to see if I can really taste the difference in a whiskey sour. Also, I just really like whiskey sours. So, so I reckon, oh God, I've been El Cheapo buying this standard Jim Beam giant bottles from Costco. When it's not going to be finished for a while. When it's like 3/4 gone. Yeah, that means there's still like 400 mils in it. And it's like, it's going to take me a while to get through that. I might actually get a decent bourbon next time.
Like an overproof or a long aged?
I've got an overproof rye, so I don't think I need an overproof bourbon as well.
So more like what was it? Small batch you called it, the other one?
Yeah, the small batch.
Something more specialty.
Oh, I know what I'll ask, because I'm really getting into the supporting the Australian distilleries. I'm going to ask the people I've been keeping up with on Facebook who are doing nightly live streams on Facebook, and they're actually, work for distillers and whatnot. And I say, okay, what of the Australian whiskies, what's a good bourbon substitute? Because
they'll be like, a chance to get rid of the $1,000 bottle.
I'm not, and it is going to be more expensive than buying, Jim Beam or Jack Daniels. But I'm just going to ask, of the Australian makers, who makes one that's like a good approximation of a bourbon? Because I think a lot of them are more like Scotch profiles, which is obviously really different to bourbon, except the people who don't drink whiskeys are being, what do you fucking say? They all taste like fucking ethanol. PBR, you like Maker's Mark. I've had Maker's Mark before, again, because they sell it at Costco. 1 litre bottles of Maker's Mark at Costco. Most people recommend Maker's Mark. Like Jim Beam and Jack Daniels are like, and Maker's Mark has a much better reputation. And they do sell that, not these giant 1.75 litre bottles. There we go, Kirsten. I thought you might be able to tell me, actually. Aussie distillery called Whippersnapper that makes a bourbon. There we go. Let's look it up. Because we're on the internet, in case you people didn't know.
Wasn't bourbon one of those things that it had to be the United States, or like champagne?
Yeah. There's no law that stops you, I don't think. Yeah. And they probably, I don't know, our whiskey, whippersnapperdistillery.com.
Bourbon, something.
Whippersnapper releases Perth's first bourbon. Am I of legal drinking age? So much.
Yes.
That happened so many years ago. Whippersnapper Distillery, our whiskey. Crazy Uncle barrel-aged moonshine. Well, I tell you what, you've got me with that name. Oh my God.
Is that the bourbon, or is that something else?
See, they do hand sanitizer. 2 liters of hand sanitizer for 85.
But is it flavored? Not flavored, scented.
Yeah, bourbon flavored hand sanitizer. That's some fucking quality. It's 80% alcohol, man. It would do the job. It would do the job. Upshot.
We should send some to Trump. You can inject it.
Holy cow. So, Upshot. Okay, so this is like, their upmarket one is basically twice as expensive as Jim Beam. It's like $98 instead of 40 odd and that's 43% alcohol. But they do cask strength, i.e. overproof, $155 for 64%. Barrel aged moonshine, the Crazy Uncle, and then a clear moonshine. Called Crazy Uncle for $59. Coffee, the Corona Comfort Pack.
Does it have Coronas in it?
No, it's whiskey and jerky.
Okay.
Ooh, quinoa whiskey. What the heck? $220. Jesus. First cask upshot, $880. God damn. Okay, so Annette's calling it injectable bourbon disinfectant for Donald Trump. Kirsten, which one of their whiskies is the equivalent to a bourbon? I'm hoping it's the Crazy Uncle one because the other ones are way more expensive. Oh, wait a sec. There was a news article back here. Where'd it go? Whippersnapper releases Perth's. Oh, they're a Perth distillery. First bourbon. Here we go. Getting ready to release product. A bourbon style whiskey. West and East Perth distillery opens the stores. According to Jimmy McEwen. Traditional American style handmade as casks. Name, it's not something that bothers him. He's want to create a spirit like a flavor. Corn comes from Connemara. Retired World War bomber pilot was the inspiration behind the drink. Brewed homemade beer and some moonshine, so he's a great example to follow. Shared drinks with the American pilots. But it doesn't say which one that is. Free shipping. Well, I'm a big fucking fan of that.
Was it with orders over a certain amount, or?
No, it just said free shipping.
So it's in the cost then.
Yeah, basically. Okay, so Australian whiskey. Let's see the description of barrel-aged moonshine. Crazy Uncle. Light golden straw, slight oak vanilla tones. West Australian grains, 80% corn. Ooh.
Oh, well, that qualifies.
First barrel-aged moonshine. It's a young whiskey. Ooh, so that's like a rough edge whiskey.
Yeah, not straight or whatever. Straight
Upshot. Is Upshot the bourbon style one? There's $98. I'm not sure I want to go there. The eventual outcome of a series of our first whiskey. Modern Aussie expression of a well-rounded whiskey. There you go. Oh, well, that's a possibility. Whippersnapper. Kirsten, yeah, welcome to buying Aussie booze. Yes, I know the Australian. Like I said, you know, I at the start of this live stream, I taste tested the 3 vermouths I have because I got a new one that came in the mail just today, so I had to try it and then make a cocktail with it, which is an Australian one called Royal Rogue. Was that what it was called? 3 times more expensive than the Cinzano. Same as the Maiden Eye is 3 times more expensive than Cinzano. Just happens to be 3 times better as well. Oh, nice, Kirsten. It's a really small distillery. 4 guys and a gal in a 4-car garage-sized distillery. Love it. Absolutely love it. Well, we will see. I haven't decided what I'm going to get yet. It'll be a while before I get it because I've, you know, fucking got this much of this bourbon. I'm not going to buy another bourbon till this is gone. That's not going to go in a hurry. That's probably still like 400 mils in there.
What's the American bottle-o?
What?
What is what's like Dan Murphy's the Australian bottle-o? What's the American bottle-o?
Ah, that's a good question. I'm not sure they have big chains of bottlers. People buy it from Costco and stuff.
I just want something for comparison. I'm looking up the prices of just a straight Jim Beam in Australia from my local.
Bourbon in America is so fucking cheap. Alcohol in America is so cheap. It's frightening. Because fully 50% of the cost of spirits in Australia is tax. Okay, Kirsten says the Crazy Uncle's moonshine is good, but Upshot's the bourbon. Okay. That's going hopefully in the memory banks, which hopefully aren't getting wiped by the number of bourbon cocktails I'm drinking tonight. So,
what's a common size for America? 1 litre or 1.125 litres? I suppose that'd be in fluid ounces or something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be in ounces in America. So,
does anyone in the chat know, like a conversion?
Does anyone know about American spirit?
Maybe
price?
like 700 mils, something close to that. 1 liter, 1.25.
Well, I think that 700 mils is a pretty standard size worldwide.
Okay. So you can get the 700 mils Jim Beam's, just a white label straight bourbon for $35 here.
Yeah.
So does anyone come up with a name for a standard American bottle shop? Or
I think just Costco or something. I don't know. So, yeah, okay. I think in America that's like 24 ounces. Oh, yeah, Kirsten knows the business. In Australia, it costs $87.89 per litre, pure alcohol. 750 mils is the USA main size. There we go.
750 mils, right?
Yep, I am taking on face value. Kirsten's an expert.
And how much was that one in America?
I don't know. What are you looking up?
Just bourbon, Jim Beam, 700 mil.
Okay, so that's like 25 ounce. Yeah. Shit. Fuck.
That's 35 Australian dollars. So
yeah.
What's the conversion?
Alcohol prices USA. Okay. My travel costs. Alcohol prices in the US. This is a general guide. Beer at the grocery store, $7 to $10 for a 6-pack. Wine, $6 or $7. Bottle of vodka Smirnoff, see, about $15. So that's a good approximation. They're saying Smirnoff vodka is $15. So look up like Smirnoff at Dan Murphy's.
Smirnoff. Got a 1 liter. Okay, here we are. 700 mils. That's $38.90. So $39.
Basically, we pay double. The shorthand is we pay double.
Convert Australian into US, it's $25.
Yeah.
So what did they say? $15?
15. Yeah. So we're not far off double US prices, and that is tax. And I'm kind of okay with it. Alcohol is a social ill, quite honestly. There you go. Kirsten works at a distillery that ships to the USA. I would thank you so much for your expertise, by the way, Kirsten. It's good to have someone who knows this stuff. Is Smirnoff made in Russia and imported? I'm honestly not sure if Smirnoff, I think, was a Russian vodka. I don't know if it's still uniquely Russian or if they've like licensed the name or something.
Yeah, sometimes they send like an essence and then you have to, like, local distilleries make it up.
Yeah.
Someone's got the contract to do it. I think Jim Beam does it with their white label ones here. If you want to get the American one, it's a black label or something. Yeah. Jim Beam. Am I right or wrong? I don't know. This is just what my brother-in-law was saying because he prefers the black label.
Musically, Ava, you're going to be playing the last post at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. I think your neighbours will be fine with it, my friend. Be a bit churlish of them to object, quite honestly, to a dawn playing of the last post. Anyway, okay, I had a very slight spillage, and I'm going to get. It was only slight. I'm not covering for myself. It was only slight.
Yeah, incontinence happens with age. So
just gonna get a cough.
Some depends. You might be able to get them shipped from Woolies to your door. Adult diapers.
I just got to clean up a little bit. I'm thinking like Australian ones. I'm trying to support more. It'll be it's got to be a long time till I finish my bitter aperitif. So I've got some Aperol, and I've got the Dolan cherry bitter aperitif that I made the cocktail with at the start of this live stream. Not things that I use in huge volume, so it's going to be a while before I finish them and want to replace them. But I am going to. There are a few Australian makers who make the Italian style bitter aperitifs, and I am going to get an Australian one of those next time. I have to decide which one because there are a few, but I'm getting an Australian one of them. We'll see. But that's probably months away. It's probably going to be months before I finish those because they're bitter. I don't use them a lot. It's just fun to have a bitter cocktail every now and then. Oh, right. Got to rinse this cloth now. I've cleaned up my mess.
Safa, you've asked how is my food and alcohol stock going? I don't drink a lot. One of my daughters moved to Queensland just before the lockdowns, and she left all her alcohol. So I drank the remainder of her Maduri with lemonade, which is why I replaced it. And now I've cracked that open. So, yeah, so I may just go through her stocks. I've since talked to her, and she's like, yeah, no, just drink it. So, yeah, but I don't drink a lot because diabetes, fatibetes.
Yeah, you don't want to drink too much, no.
Yeah, exactly. So,
only has 5 Aussie aperitifs. Which one would you recommend? The ones I like. The fucking Campari's too much for me. I just cannot get on with Campari. But I've got Aperol. I've got this Dolan bitter cherry. I mean, I've got Amaro here as well. I've got Punta Mez. I've got Fernet Branca. So I'm not shy about bitter stuff. But just I can't fucking do Campari. So of your 5 Aussie aperitifs, given that, I like Aperol and this Dolan cherry, Kirsten says that's like picking a favorite child. That's fair. PBA, you think the cops will be monitoring people's homes on Anzac Day to make sure there aren't big gatherings of paying respects? You may be right. Honestly, while the restrictions are obviously necessary because people are dickheads, like the Eastern Suburbs councils went, we're going to reopen the beaches for exercise only. Closed the beaches the same day they opened it because it was just full of people just fucking hanging out on the beach. They explicitly said you can't just hang out on the beach. You have to be jogging or swimming or surfing. And everyone was just at the beach having a paddle, and they closed the beaches the same day they opened them. It's just like people are dickheads. So there obviously needs to be some level of enforcement because people are dickheads. But oh man, the cops seem to be enjoying their powers way too fucking much.
Oh, I bet, yes.
Nah. It's cops and politicians. If you give them power, they don't give it up in a hurry, and they really, really like to exercise it. So, so again, Kirsten, okay, don't pick a favorite child, Kirsten. Just tell me what your 5 aperitifs you have are. I won't put you on the spot. I'm just interested in which ones you have. Seeing we've got someone who's quite the expert, we'll definitely pick your brain. We're here. Imbroglio from Poor Tom's. I
reckon if you're going to head out for essential stuff, put some toilet paper in the boot of your car. And if you're pulled over, delivering emergency toilet paper to, my frail relative.
Ooh, that's a good plan. The only trip I've made that I thought there was an outside chance, because it was a long way from home, that we might get stopped by cops. We're actually taking birthday cake and fresh baked bread to my kid's auntie, and he's like other side of town. And yeah, I just said to my daughter, she baked the bread and made the cake. And I just said, okay, the story is if the cops stop us, your auntie is actually housebound and can't go out. So this is a care thing we're doing for her, okay? It's not just you like your auntie and you made her some stuff and you're taking it over. She's actually housebound, okay? So,
yes, I had to go out today, actually. My middle child, who, like, the 2 eldest have moved out. They're adults. She came down with what she suspects is tonsillitis. And
oh, God.
Yeah, she's got a history of it. And I looked at it, and it looks tonsillitis-y. But anything that is throat related, you must get COVID tested. So we booked her an appointment. We spoke to the doctor, and she is now in quarantine.
Oh, god damn!
Yeah.
So was she like isolated in her room, or
no? The entire household. There's a few people who live in the same apartment, and they're all.
So you're quarantined now.
No, I'm not. I specifically asked that because I don't live with her.
Okay.
Yeah, she's living with a friend at the moment because she wanted to go out by herself. They are quarantined, so so she's got to get a COVID test, and then it'll be sent off for testing. And once they hear back from that, they'll decide whether they're still on quarantine or not. So,
is that the friggin' nasal swab that she has to
get? That's the one. I showed her a video of it just to get her prepped for it. She's like, no, just let me die.
No, let me die. Yeah, don't stick something into my brain. Yeah.
So a little bit worried about my middle child, but hopefully she's fine. But I was all masked up and had the hand sanitizer anytime I touched anything. So and showered and changed my clothes and put them all in the wash when I got home. Even got some isopropyl alcohol that we've been using to make our own hand sanitizer before we got some, and doused my head in it and got it all in my beard and hair. I wasn't taking any risks.
Once you feel down with alcohol, that's good.
Pretty much, yeah. Then had a shower straight away.
Kirsten's saying some more of the Australian ones, the Poor Tom's Ochre. I've been, I was thinking of getting something from the Ochre range when I next want to get an aperitif. Oh, there you go. Kirsten only has 4 Australian aperitifs in the market. Brilio, Poor Tom's Ochre, Applewood Bitter Orange, Adelaide Hills Distillery Bitter Ruby by Minton. There you go. I was thinking of getting the Ochre just because the daily live stream I've been watching on Facebook Live has been they feature as someone who works for Ochre, I think. So I've been thinking of getting that one, and also the Bitters Lab, which is like one of my favorite places. They sell the Ochre products, so that was the one I was thinking of getting. So, but again, it's going to be months. It's going to be months before I go through. Probably going to get another vermouth before that, because this one's still you can't even see. It's like it's full to here. So, but the last. Yeah,
you can see the liquid move. So
so it's full to about here. The last bottle of Medini lasted me about 2 months. This one will probably last about the same. I'll probably get another Medini when I finish that. Yes, Henry on the live streams for Ochre, he's very funny. Never tell. Is he just that exuberant, or has he had a couple drinks before he does the live streams? It's very interesting. So, my timing is really good. It's just coming up on 10, and I'm just finishing the 3rd apple and bloody oranges.
How you feeling?
Possibly ready for bed. I might try some high-end whiskey sours tomorrow night, because I've still got quite a bit of the little bottles left, enough to make a decent whiskey sour out of each of them. So, Steve, how are you, my friend? Okay, Kirsten informs me that Henry's that exuberant at 9 a.m. That's okay. I'm also surprised he's really that exuberant at 9 a.m. because I think his normal job is like doing bar stuff, isn't it? I thought people in the trade were very night owlish and were not necessarily particularly full of life at 9 a.m. That's fun. Watching other people do the live streams, and I think this is the whole thing, how we all feel less alone, either watching live streams or doing live streams. A lot of I noticed the BBC's been doing some watch-alongs, like with different shows, Doctor Who and other shows, and then people from the show that they're running are doing a live chat while it's going, and they're like saying, "Hey, I remember shooting that," and they're telling behind the scenes stories and whatnot. And I haven't watched anything, but I did notice when I was just flicking.
Is that on YouTube or?
No, the BBC was screening that, I think. But I did see on YouTube Pierce Brosnan doing a running commentary for GoldenEye. Like, so there's two. I'm probably going to watch that. So it's like Pierce Brosnan, like, what's it, 20 years later? I hope he's having a few drinks while he does it as well. Just telling you all the behind the scenes gossip about what was going on.
Martini, probably.
Yeah. What was going on while we were shooting that? So I bookmarked that when I happened to be flicking through YouTube and saw that Pierce Brosnan doing a watch along to his James Bond movies. I thought that could be good. But there's more and more people doing that, like watch alongs. They're going, see, AZ and I had this idea years ago. We were doing our commentary tracks for DVDs. We'd sit down and go, okay, this is the one we're watching, this edition, put it in your player and press play now. And then it's like we're all hanging out together saying stupid shit while we watch a movie.
I think there's a Netflix app or something for doing watch-alongs. So
probably.
Yeah, like to sync up. People think.
Yes, Netflix have actually been promoting that. Yes.
Yeah.
There is something like that, yes.
I haven't looked at it.
Go. Safa, Zack Snyder did one with Batman versus Superman. That would suck. Sorry. that was pretty mean of me, honestly. But Zack Snyder, I don't know. It's just I love. I was watching a video the other day, and I've forgotten her name, but she's quite well known on YouTube for her film analysis. I'm blanking a bit at the moment, but I just watched one. She was focusing on Mad Max Fury Road for how expertly setup and payoff is done in Mad Max Fury Road. And she just keeps referencing Zack Snyder is so fucking bad at this. He's like, does big reveals that there was never any setup for, and no one gives a shit when the reveal happens because there was no setup for it. And Mad Max Fury Road is just like flawless with the way it does setup, reference, and payoff. And Zack Snyder's just so fucking bad at it. But and I think maybe we should do a watch along. I'm going to look into it. What does Netflix have for watch alongs? Because man, I should do is a playlist of all, because this was years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago, I was doing these with AZ. And we did, I don't know, 2 dozen of these movie commentary tracks.
Wasn't there a series you were working through? Was it Harry Potter? Or?
We did all the Harry Potter movies, including the one that got age restricted because we turned it into a drinking game. We had booze in front of it. You've got to take a drink every time someone says Harry Potter. I was like,
it has to be the full name, Harry Potter, not Harry, not Potter.
They have to say Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
We were just going, no. Oh, Harry Potter.
Yeah.
YouTube age restricted it because we called it the Harry Potter drinking game.
There you go. And it says it's called Netflix Party. So
there you go, Netflix Party. Okay,
do you have to do that on your computer though, or
I'm not sure. I'm going to look into it.
Television.
We're going to do it. I'm going to set up a Netflix party. Tomorrow night might be too soon. I don't know if I can do it too soon, but I'll see what's involved in setting up a Netflix party. Strictly Sega's been watching some of the watch-alongs. The Red Dwarf people did one. Yeah, okay. Pierce Brosnan was actually a bit boring. Okay. He's only drinking water. That's the same. I'd say Kirsten's saying no one's good at 9, but Henry is he seems like an exuberant guy. His live streams are, and it's multi-streamed. I watch it on Facebook, but I know he does it to Twitch, multi-streams to Twitch and probably some other platforms as well. Yes, and I don't know if you need Chromecast or whatever, and I'm not really in the mood to look it up now. I'll look it up tomorrow. I have this feeling Megaleech is looking it up.
I am. Yeah, netflixparty.com, and there's a Chrome extension or something by the looks of it.
Chrome extension?
Potentially. Chrome Web Store, Netflix Party. Add to Chrome. So.
Okay, if we do that, I bet I'll have to connect my laptop to cable.
Yeah. Install Netflix Party. So yeah, netflixparty.com.
Okay.
You can get it.
So folks, if you're up for that, install netflixparty.com. I'll look into it. So because I think there was actually a movie recently added, sort of sci-fi movie that's been quite popular that I wanted to watch. I don't know. I'll try and remember to check it out tomorrow. So strictly saying, Pierce Brosnan only drinks water, but does tell stories that were kind of interesting. Questions for more about Die Another Day and the N64 game. Oh my god. Everyone loves... I never actually played GoldenEye on the N64. I had Perfect Dark, which was a very equivalent sort of game. The multiplayer on Perfect Dark was really good, and apparently the multiplayer on GoldenEye was really good. I was big on Perfect Dark as a first-person shooter and multiplayer game. Kirsten, okay, it's the Applewood Distillery. Yes, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Yes, definitely. I find it really entertaining. I don't get all of them, but I usually get the live streams Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6:30 to 7:30. I watch it like before I come on, basically. Yeah, and Applewood, I think they do live streams about wine on other nights, and I don't give a shit about wine. I'm not a wine drinker, so I like the ones on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, honestly. Oh, interesting. Someone's saying there's GoldenEye on the Wii, but Daniel Craig is the James Bond in the Wii version of GoldenEye. That's weird.
Would have just been the era.
Oh god, PBR, The Irishman, which I still haven't watched. 3-hour film on Netflix. Fuck me. Oh, that's a challenge, isn't it? That's a challenge. Do a watch party for a 3-hour film. Jesus. I'm tempted. I am sorely tempted. I'm going to look into it tomorrow. And maybe if we can get organized, because I think we can still do the live stream. I'm not sure. I have to look into how it actually works. I think I can still do the live stream for people who aren't actually on the Netflix party, but we'll see. I
assume you can type in it or something. So
yeah, I don't know.
The iteration. I assume it doesn't put your faces in a little box up the side like StreamYard can. So
yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look into what it actually is. There you go, Kirsten. Every night from 5:30, Unico Zelo, the wine arm of Applewood, do a live stream. Who cares about? Yeah. See, I'm just not a wine drinker. That was the other thing. Eventually, then the next time I get a gin, it's going to be an Australian gin as well. But I don't drink that much gin. Mrs. Angry is more of a gin person than me, but she doesn't drink that much. I think she'll be glad when I stop making fucking bourbon cocktails on these live streams, because she doesn't like whiskey at all. So
you have to break it up. Make sure you don't do 2 consecutive bourbon cocktails.
Yeah, maybe that's
my gin, bourbon, then a vodka, bourbon, then
maybe that's my excuse to buy an Australian gin. Because again, see, people who are seriously into gin, they'll go, "Oh, there's a London Dry. This is a slow gin," and I'm just like, "They're gin, mate. What the fuck? They're all gin." And gin drinkers will clutch their pearls at me at that point and how could you say that? They are so different. Okay, they're not, you know. They're all fucking gin. And I was like, Kirsten's going to help me pick a gin. Nice. Okay, so I need something that's quite different. The gin I have at the moment is Tanqueray. Again, so why do you have Tanqueray, Angry Aussie? Because they sell 1 litre bottles of it at Costco and it's cheap.
Cheap
That is like
permanent.
my answer to everything. Like, where did you get that? It was on special. And it's like,
Welcome to my life.
yeah.
That's just how
Like,
I buy things.
I'm going to the supermarket. What are you getting? Depends what's on
cheap.
special. What are we going to have for dinner? Well, I'm going to the supermarket, and whatever's on special is what we're going to have for dinner. And I don't have to. You know, I have a job. I have money. I could buy things that aren't on special. But this is the product of growing up.
Principle of the thing.
Lower middle class, working class, then going to uni being broke as fuck, and then not having a proper job till I was 27. So being unemployed or underemployed till I was 27, which was the first time I got a proper job. So I always still act like I have no money. So I buy stuff that's on special. All right, Kirsten's helping me out with gin. The Gin Cart AU on. Oh, that's your Ginstagram. Nice. Where's my pen? Got to find it. Sorry. I'm going to do that before I forget, because if I don't do it now, I'll wake up in the morning and go, that was something I was going to do, wasn't it? Because I said I was going to follow something. And it's 3 fucking whiskey cocktails will do that to you. Holy cow. Sorry, the first thing that popped up is a friend of mine who's just given birth, but she's posing in a swimsuit holding her little bub, and it's just like, that's just a bit confronting. Like,
I thought that it might be in the delivery room. No.
She gave birth about 2 weeks ago, and she was a model. She is a model. But so she's been posting for months these super pregger photos. Like for the last 2 months, she's been super preggers, and she finally gave birth. And in the end, she's just posing in a swimsuit with her little bub. And just having that pop up was a bit, oh, Jesus. What the? All right, so I have to find Gin Cart AU. Search for Gin Cart AU. Fuck, 2 typos. Jesus. Gin.
Just blame autocorrect.
Cart AU. The Gin Cart AU. Angry Aussie follows. All right. So I am following now, Kirsten. Let's get down to gin. Okay, so I need something that is really different to Tanqueray, basically. Something that's good, that highlights a different facet of gin, as opposed to Tanqueray, which is a London Dry. I know that, even though someone says, what's the difference between a London Dry? I don't know, dude. They're all fucking gin. I don't fucking know. But I need a good comparison one, or contrasty one.
They'll convert you, yes.
Yes. Are you a gin drinker?
No.
No. All right. Oh, but yeah, now I want to make some all Aussie drinks. Like we made the joke when I made a Manhattan, and I improvised and used a couple of Aussie elements, because a Manhattan is just bourbon or rye and vermouth. And for a bit of a laugh, I used an Australian vermouth, and I also used a dash of an Australian macadamia liqueur. And I was saying, it's like, this is an Aussie in Manhattan. And Aidsy was on the live stream at the time, and we started making Crocodile Dundee references. And he came up with a much better name for that drink. It was the That's Not a Knife. So if I make a martini with an Australian gin and an Australian vermouth, you know, let's see. Okay, so Kirsten reckons the Gypsy from Tiny Bear Distillery. Tiny Bear Distillery. Oh, it's a Melbourne gin distillery. Nice.
Still have to get it delivered, Angry.
I do. You know, I actually, where I was working in the city, literally downstairs, it was in the heritage area of fucking Little Lonsdale Street, one of the, you know, original Melbourne buildings that's been preserved is now a distillery. It's the Little Lon Distillery. It's just down the bottom of the building where I was working.
Nice.
One of the original Melbourne. buildings. Yeah. So the store, cellar door still open. Oh, there you go. Gin and cheese for two. The gypsy, the sailor, the doctor, the barrel-aged sailor. Which one are we? The gypsy. Kirsten is recommending the gypsy. Ooh, okay, that's decent. Let's have a look. Okay, so here's the thing. It's about 50% more than a decent gin. It's probably at least 50% better. It's, you know, from a small distillery where they really care and they've gone to enormous trouble to do it. All right, Kirsten, you like Little Lon too. Yeah, I just thought, I was always fascinated that I was working, and it was like this heritage building in Little Lonsdale Street. And it's just distillery. When this bullshit is all over, I think they're actually opening a bar. That was their plan. They had a development request in to actually have a bar open there, which is obviously, you know, fucking gone out the window. Kirsten, I love your enthusiasm. It's not 50% better. It's 100% better than a Tanqueray. Spicy, peppery, made from kale-based spirit. Fuck, I'm getting it. Okay, Kirsten, you're a champion. So the gypsy, 700 mils. Ooh, here we go. Oh, they also
I feel like we're all enabling everyone to become an alcoholic during this time. I know I've drank a lot more since watching you with the cocktails. So
I know. It's bad. There's no two ways about it. And that's why I always stress, like every now and then, you know, when we're talking about boozing and whatnot, someone will go like, yeah, I don't like, you know, people pressure me to fucking drink. I don't want to drink. Go, I'm on your side. If you don't want to drink and someone is saying, you have a drink, I'll punch them in the fucking face. I won't. That's bad. I won't actually punch someone. But I will provide someone with the moral support to go, no, fuck it. You don't want to drink. You don't, because I went through very long periods where I didn't drink. And you get stupid, particularly, I think it's a very Australian thing. You get pressure put in, what's drinking, mate? What's wrong with you? I don't fucking want to, okay?
I didn't drink until I was 21, so.
Yeah. So I didn't drink till I was 40. But, you know, there you go. Seriously, I was borderline teetotaler till I was 40. When
it comes to alcohol.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's not talk about my 20s.
No.
There was no alcohol, but there was stuff that could get me into terrible trouble. I had to get a security clearance once because I was working for the Defense Department.
Right.
And there's a question on your security clearance. Have you ever done drugs? And I was going, do you expect me to lie or do you want the truth? And I went, oh, fuck it, I'll tell them the truth.
Yes,
yeah,
I've had lots of paracetamol.
Yeah. No, it's like in my 20s, I was a fucking madman. And they go, oh, and they just want to know, have you done, because their big thing is they want to know that you can't be blackmailed, that you can't be manipulated. And they say, what have you done to distance yourself from that? I go, this was my 20s, man. What did I do myself? I got older. I haven't done this shit since my 20s, but yeah, you know, I used to go to fucking warehouse raves and, you know, fucking acid and ecstasy was too expensive, but you know, acid and speed. And I was just honest. And I said, yeah, but those were my 20s, man. It was just like, you asked, and I was like, you could drug test me. Nothing's going to show up in my system. You know, I'm really confident. That's why I'm so confident saying, yes, I did in the past, because you can test me. Nothing's showing up if you drug test me. And it's not because I'm pretty, drunk the bad. It's just like, oh, dude, I got older. Okay. I got older. And those weekends when I used to blast through them and it was like, fuck no. And then even just in late 20s, coming into contact with teenagers who were getting fucked up virtually every night of the week. And I was going, how the fuck are you doing that? And it's like, I've got I can do it like Friday and Saturday night, spend Sunday in recovery mode, and I can be more or less normal when I get to work on Monday. But you get these people who are just 10 years younger than me who are getting fucked up every fucking night. And I was like, oh, Jesus. How? Yes. And then you made babies. That puts an end to it. Yes. I had my first babies in my 30s. It's just like, yeah, oh, no, this person's relying on me. I probably won't fuck things up now that I'm with them. Look at this. Kirsten says this gin is made by the two of the nicest people in Australia. You can get 200 mils, get the gift back of 3 for the best Aussie gin. Fucking sold. Gypsy gin. Tiny Bear. And I'm really kindly disposed to super local people because they're Melbourne people. Okay, the trio is $80. And that's little bottles. I think I've seen that somewhere. Probably at bloody Bitters Lab or something. So
I checked out my local for bitters, and it only has Angostura, so I'm going to have to order from the Bitters Lab.
Oh,
if I want something else.
Bittersonly.com is a...
Oh, Bitters Only?
Yeah.
That is the Bitters Lab, or?
Yeah, that's their online store.
Right.
They sell everything that they've got. Oh, my God, that is a fucking candy store. You just look at it and go, oh, my God, that sounds so cool. I'm getting some of that.
I think I get the second most popular one. What was that one called? Something? Payshaw's, was it? Payshaw's.
Yeah, that's this one. It's a very different style. I'll get it out. So, Angostura is regarded as an aromatic bitter, which is the most common style. Payshaw's is also aromatic. People call this Creole bitters. This is New Orleans bitters. This is down in the bayou. This is the bitters they have down in the bayou. Payshaw's, P-E. Do you know I actually forgot how to say the letter P for a moment there? Oh, bourbon, what have you done to me? I'm not joking. I was going to say pay, and it's like, no, it's P. Peychaud''S. Payshaw's bitters. The two most traditional bitters are Angostura and Paychaud, and they're quite different styles. But yes, Kirsten, onlybitters.com is, oh my God, if you're into just getting the flavors in the drinks, it's like being a kid in a candy store. Like, and I got Mega Leech onto putting bitters in Pepsi Max, which I do all the time.
That's great. It is very nice.
Like the fruit flavored bitters, they have all these different fruit flavored bitters, and that in Pepsi Max is great. Like, I think I've got a citrus bitters, I've got a cranberry bitters, I've got a couple fruity ones. Fee Brothers is a very well known brand. Their cranberry one is, it's good. It's good. But yeah, I think we counted. I have 10 different sorts of bitters over there.
It used to be 6.
Yeah, I think 10. I've run out of time, haven't I? That's probably because of the exuberance caused by 3 fucking bourbon cocktails. All right, so tomorrow I'm going to look into the Netflix party and see if we could possibly set it up as soon as tomorrow night. If we can, I will, but we'll do it at some point. Because what I want to make sure is people who aren't doing the Netflix thing can still sort of take part in the live stream as well. I have to work out how it actually works.
If you need a test subject, just message me on Facebook. Yes,
I may well do that. I'm just going to bookmark the Tiny Bear Distillery website while I've got it. Done. Okay. So thank you, Kirsten. Kirsten, you only have... Okay, I'm really quickly going to do it. I've got Angostura bitters. I've got Paychaud's bitters. I've got... I've got lots. I have to make 2 trips to get them all. I can't carry them all in one trip. Put those down. Right. So, okay, what have I got besides Peychaud's and Angostura? I've only got one Fee Brothers. Fee Brothers are a fairly well-known brand. This is great. And they do this neat packaging where the bottle's wrapped in paper, which I find quite neat. And also,
that's
this
like an Angostura bitters thing. So do all the bitters do that? Is that like
no, they don't all do that. This cranberry one's really red. I haven't used that much of it. So after a while, you often get a little run down here, so it looks like blood stains running down the paper. But so Fee Brothers make a lot. That's quite a well-known brand. I've got a couple from this Australian maker, the Australian Superfood Company. This is a lemon myrtle flavored one, and same people.
What's the profile flavor on myrtle? I don't think I've ever tasted myrtle.
What do they say for lemon myrtle? It's a florally one, and this one's finger lime, so that's like Australian native lime. I think these might actually be from Melbourne. Yeah, these are made in South Melbourne. So this is also an Australian one, I think, Mr. Bitters. Yeah, made in Melbourne. They call this their Negroni bitters. Mr. Bitters make a lot. This one I got just because the name, Bitter Old Men, which suits me very well.
Yeah, can relate.
That's a citrus bitters. I got that just because it was called Bitters Old Men. This is a cola nut bitters. And I hardly ever use this one, so I probably should use it more. Here's another brand I like, Bittermans. Bittermans make some really good ones. I've had a few of them in the past. This one is New England Spiced Cranberry. They do a really good, basically, I think all the Bittermans ones are good. I've had a few of theirs. This is another one. Yeah, Tiki. This is a Bittermans Tiki Bitters. It's tropical blend of cinnamon, allspice, and island spices. And the New England Spiced Cranberry is supposed to be like American Thanksgiving flavors. This again, I got this kind of just because it was an interesting bottle. This is Ancient Chinese Secret Cocktail Bitters, meant to be like reminiscent of Chinese cooking spices.
Spice or something, yeah.
Yeah. And this is another good brand. I've had quite a few over the years of Bob's Bitters. This is a chocolate bitters, but Bob's does a whole range. That's an English one. Bob's I definitely recommend. Bob's does very good flavors.
Is that like a spritz but a pump pack, or is that got a
that's a drop.
Or something? A dropper, right?
They usually most of them are droppers.
Yeah, there you go.
I just dropped some of that on my fingers. So hey, why don't I lick bitters straight off my fingers? What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Who would have thunk it?
It's really funny when I was in the bitter, one of the times I've been in the bitters lab, the person working there said like they give you these little spoons that you like. If you want to taste them, you put a drop in the spoon and taste. So you're not giving anyone your germs because you've got your own spoon. You're going, I was just smelling them. Going, no, taste them. And it's like, so I tasted 6 different ones. At which point, all my taste buds were burnt out from these bitters. But
everything would taste like bitters.
Yeah. The fun thing was any drink I had for the rest of the day was flavored with the bitters that had impregnated on my tongue, which was good. It was great. Yeah. But it was like, I'm not really on board with them saying, no, you should taste them. I'm going, no, they're really bitter and they burn all my taste buds out in about 5 seconds. I'll just smell them. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Have you got any gin so I can cut it with it?
11. I actually have 12 different bitters.
Well, you should have asked them for something to cut it with so that, you weren't taking straight bitters.
That's some water or something, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, go for some Jim Beam or see what they got.
Oh, I like that. Annette made a Gibson with vermouth, gin, and solo. See, I'm not a purist. It's like if you make something that you like, that's a good drink. You do get some people who get obnoxious and they're purists. They go, no, you have to use this, this, and this. It's like, well, I'll follow a recipe to a point, But it's like, if it's got a thing in it I don't like, I'm going to substitute it for something I do like. A good cocktail is a cocktail you like, not a cocktail that adheres to some weird set of rules that someone says you have to follow. So a good cocktail is a cocktail you like. And you only find out what you like by exploring. Like 2-3 years ago, I never would have believed that I've got into the weird shit that I've got into. But you just explore and you find out, oh, I like that. I'm going to try something like that. And then you see a recipe and go, oh, that sounds wild. What's that ingredient? I don't have that. I'm going to go out and buy that ingredient just because I saw it. You're going to buy a bottle this big that says to use 20 mils of it in a drink. And it's like, fuck it. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Or like when Mrs. Angry and I go out on date nights, we find a place that does good cocktails. You know, she actually keeps notes on her phone about, you know, okay, this cocktail is called that. We rate it, like my rating system out of 10. If it's 6 out of 10, it's okay, and I don't hate the fact that I paid for it. 7 out of 10 is good. And I wouldn't mind having it again sometime in the future. 8 out of 10 that is good, and I'm definitely getting it again sometime. 9 out of 10 is, oh my God, I want another one of them right now.
Have you had many that have fallen to the 5 and below category?
Oh, there's been a couple where it's like, yeah, okay, make a note of not getting this one again.
Yeah.
Sometimes they get to 9.5. It's like, holy fuck, this is like the greatest thing I've ever had. Make a note. This is a really good drink.
Yeah, what's in it? I'm getting those.
I see, Kirsten, that's exactly what I do. You see the descriptions on the menu, but you don't know the relative measures that they've put in. Go home and try and make it yourself and butcher it. That's so much fun. You go, okay, they said it had this. Yeah, you go, they say it had this, 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 and this in it. Okay, I think it's probably at this levels. And then you taste it and go, nah, that's nothing like it.
We do a similar thing when we go to a restaurant and have a meal that we like. We try and replicate it at home. So
absolutely.
We did one with a fettuccine that we had, a salmon fettuccine out. And I had a chicken fettuccine recipe. And so I found out which components needed to be changed. So we swapped the chicken for salmon. We put capers in it and a bit of garlic. And it was identical to the restaurant. It was beautiful. It's become one of our staples.
Yeah. But you kind of learn, like when you find whether it's food or a cocktail recipe, it feels kind of exotic. Okay, there's a kind of exotic ingredient in that. Oh, I don't know how much of the exotic ingredient to put in. You go, oh, I think this much. And then you taste and go, that's way too much. Okay. Lot less of the exotic ingredient. Okay.
I tend to go a bit heavy on the capers because I like capers. So.
Yeah. I mean, like, for instance, with cocktails, one of the better cocktails I had a lychee liqueur in it, and I didn't have a lychee liqueur home. So I got a lychee liqueur. And what I found out is lychee liqueur has a really strong flavor. So I thought half a shot will be fine in this mix. No, this just tastes like lychees now. Okay. So try it again another time with like quarter of a shot, and that was much better. But you think at a certain point, quarter of a shot, I'm not even going to try it. But this particular ingredient has a really strong flavor. So it's really just like a dash of it. Yeah. Oh, Kirsten, you're making syrups. I've made a couple syrups. What syrups are you making? Syrups are heaps fun. That's where you make whatever flavor you want. I'm
intrigued by your stevia one because that's a good sweetener for me.
Yes, because it is good. The sweetener I made of this is good because most of the sugar syrups,
no sugar added. It's just that with.
I put a bit of sugar in, but most sugar syrups are like 50% sugar, 50% water, and I used much less sugar, and I used a couple spoons of the stevia tea leaf, and it's really quite nice, and it's much lighter than a sugar-based simple syrup. But yes, I found this from a hippy dippy herb shop. But yeah, it's experimenting. It's like, fuck, how much of this do I don't know. Put a spoon in, see what that does. And you boil it up like tea for a while.
Just got this little bottle of agave and stevia mix, and it's fairly low on the sugar because from the agave.
Yeah,
and, I use that to sweeten things. So
yeah, no, an agave stevia mix would be great for making a syrup.
It's like it is literally a liquid, though. It's a very
it's a liquid. Yeah, well, it might be fine as it is. How thick is it?
It's just the water thickness. It's very, very thin.
That would probably be a really good sweetener for cocktails.
Yeah,
so if
it's very potent. You'd only want a little squirt in there.
Yeah, and that's what you need to experiment with. Like when something says, "Oh, you use half a shot of sugar syrup," go, okay, I'm going to experiment with half a teaspoon of the stevia syrup, and you experiment with it. Yeah.
I do have a 1-for-1 like crystal that I could probably make a syrup out of. So.
Oh, holy cow, Kirsten! You're making, are those different syrups or one syrup with honey, lemon, lime? I'm assuming those are different syrups you're making. A honey syrup, a lemon syrup, a lime syrup, and a passion fruit syrup. They all sound good. They all sound so, because I love citrus flavors. So the idea of a lemon syrup or a lime syrup, oh my God. You've just made me want to make that. I don't have any lemon. I have lime juice that I've squeezed from some limes, but I don't have the peels. You've made me want to make a syrup with lemon or lime in it. Oh.
So Strictly Seeger has asked, doesn't alcohol in general rise my blood sugar levels? Yes. So I really don't drink very often at all. So.
Yeah. Oh my God. A friend of my dad's got told, and this is when I was still a teenager, friend of my dad's got told his diabetes was such that if he didn't stop drinking alcohol completely, he would go blind. And he didn't stop drinking alcohol, so he went blind. Which, what a fucking idiot, honestly. It's not, look, as much as I clearly enjoy making the cocktails, as much as I clearly enjoy drinking alcohol, if someone said, oh, we've just detected complication X, if you don't stop drinking alcohol altogether, you're fucked, I would just stop drinking alcohol. I'd have a yard sale of all my fucking alcohol to get rid of it. But I would just stop drinking alcohol. But this guy didn't, which, again, one of my fondest childhood memory is my youngest brother. He's only 3 years younger than me, but he had the most fucking evil sense of humor as a teenager. What he would do when this guy would always visit us at Christmas or either on Christmas Day or Boxing Day, because he's like an old friend of my dad's. They'd come around and say, oh, his name was Ken. And he would come around, and he was blind at this point, and he's in the room, and I'm from a big family, so it was very noisy because there was a lot of people there. There's normally about 20 people there, anywhere from a dozen to 20 plus people there. So it was noisy. What my brother would do when Ken was there, blind Ken, he would say loud enough for almost everyone in the room to hear, apart from Ken, because he's on the other side of the room to Ken. He would just say loud enough so we'd hear it and Ken wouldn't. Just go, Ken, do you want to see my Christmas present? Oh, you can't, can you? And he would keep doing it, and we would all be laughing, and Ken's going, what's so funny? And we're going, nothing at all.
But he lost his sight, so his other senses would have been enhanced, theoretically.
Yeah, there is that.
I'm sure he didn't know.
But my brother would just keep doing it, like, oh, Ken, do you want to see? Oh, you can't, can you? And we would just be like, shut the fuck up, dude. And he was just like, he just had such a demented sense of humor. He was so evil. And I put it to him occasionally these days, you know, some 30 years later, and he goes, no, I didn't do that. I mean, you did so, you fucking psycho. You did all of that. Milk Me Manta. You've changed the news username a bit. Oh, buddy. The big dog's been drinking. Jack Dan's Fire on Ice. Nice. I actually did a comparison of 3 different bourbon cocktail. Well, the same cocktail with 3 different bourbons. which I will be editing and putting up on my cocktail channel.
Oh. Well,
Ooh,
it's my show now.
Yeah. What the fuck happened there?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
It was the Megalith show there for a second.
Just for a second, everything went, oh, what happened?
There were cheers from the crowd.
Yeah. Wild. All right. So we've run just a tad over time, but I needed to run over time to finish all my cocktails and get to the state where I could get to bed without falling over, quite honestly.
Fair enough.
Four cocktails on a Friday night. That's fucking. As Mrs. Angry said, because like we had we're having date nights at home now, but last Saturday night, we do them every second week. Last Saturday night, so this Saturday night's not a date night, so I can do a live stream. Last Saturday night, we got food from one of our favorite restaurants called Alerna Stolla, where we usually go for date nights to have the food and cocktails. We got the food and I made the cocktails, and she did come in, you don't make cocktails as strong as Alerna Stolla, do you? And I'm like, apparently not, because we'll have 2 or 3 cocktails there and be pretty fucked up. Like, it's like you have one cocktail, like I'm going to the loo now between court. Like to have one cocktail with the entree, one with the main, and one with dessert. And it's like, I've had one cocktail, I'm going to go to the loo before the main gets here. Fuck me, what's wrong with the floorboards in this place? They're really fucking wobbly. The floor's so overproof or something. Yeah. So whatever they do at Alerna Stolla, they are not goddamn shy with their cocktails, because after half of the first cocktail, you go, oh shit, I'm drinking alcohol, aren't I? Okay, cool.
Are their glasses bigger? Do they just give you a
no, it's normal-sized glasses. I don't know how that, but their cocktails are like 50% stronger than what I make, and I follow recipes from the internet. They go 1 shot of this, 1 shot of that. But whatever Alerna Stolla do, they make them 50% stronger, because over a course of an hour, 2 hours to have a 3-course meal. 3 cocktails is like, fuck me, I'm glad we came here by public transport, because Jesus, no operating heavy machinery for me right now. I know, Milk My Mantis, 4 cocktails. That's pretty mild. Like, I certainly wouldn't drive a car at the moment. But yeah, I'm not going to fall over when I stand up. What was New Year's Eve? Well, fuck New Year's Eve. That was a different fucking story. I honestly lost count of how many cocktails I made on New Year. We did a 7-hour live stream.
I watched that afterwards.
From 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. my time.
That was a long haul.
Fucking hell. That was just like, no, I'm still going. It's New Year's Eve. I'm fucking going. And because we had people from Western Australia, and it didn't turn midnight in Western Australia till 3 a.m. my time. So at about 2 a.m. I was going to give up, and the people in Perth went, oh, still an hour to New Year's Eve. Like, fuck it, we're staying for another hour.
I think I went to bed before you even started the stream.
Yeah, that's fucking sensible. I was like, Jesus. New Year's Eve was fucking something else. I seriously don't remember how many I did on New Year's Eve. But yeah, 4 is nothing. I mean, yes, like I said, I wouldn't drive a car right now, but I'm not going to fall over as I walk up to bed. But
and I just had the 1.
Just had the 1. You're a responsible man.
Yeah, that's my style.
Yeah, good. All right, so. Well, Kirsten's making a liter of 1-to-1 syrup. Macerate ingredients, please. Oh man, I love syrups. What have I got that I've made? I made my own pomegranate syrup, aka grenadine. So I've got homemade grenadine in the fridge. I've got the stuff I made with unrefined coconut sugar, which has this it's such a good sort of treacly malty flavor in that. Goes really good in rum cocktails, like tiki cocktails. Just
and
a real
my veins.
No, it would be really bad for you. But also I have the one I made with stevia, and I had some orange peel in that. The thing, it's quite like in last night's live stream when I was drinking the Vegemite vodka. The first bottle I got out was the wrong one. I was going, this is not the Vegemite vodka. This is, oh God, this is the stevia.
And you were like, oh, it has a subtle Vegemite aroma. It was like, this is sugar.
Yeah, it's sugar. Vegemite is 50% sugar. So I was like, but it was just so funny where I went like, that's not Vegemite.
And then you got the real Vegemite.
And it's like, that's not Vegemite. And then I had the Vegemite vodka, and it's like, yeah, that's the Vegemite. That's the Vegemite.
You should promote your Vegemite challenge, Vegemite vodka challenge.
Jesus. Yeah. Well, Timothy said he was going to do it. He hasn't messaged me yet, but fucking hell. Anyone, seriously, I will. I'll find some sort of container that I'll seal up a shot of Vegemite vodka in and mail to you.
Absolutely use stool sample containers.
Yes, stool sample containers, yes.
Just be perfect.
Government wants my poop. Because I'm over 50. See you tomorrow, Strictly Sega. Yeah, I'm going to go to bed. God, we're like 45 minutes over now. Just because I'm having so much fun. Perfect way to end a fucking week, honestly. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Mega Leech, for helping me out on cam.
Hey, thanks for providing these live streams. They've been great for the social distancing and all that.
Yeah,
actual social stuff going on.
That was the idea. So we all fucking feel sane and interact and have a bit of fun. Thank you, Kirsten, for the fucking hot tips on the Australian distillers, which I it's kind of like, because you go in these troubled economic times, it's like, if I buy stuff from an Australian distiller, I'm not an alcoholic. I'm a patriot. Yeah. So I'm going to get some Tiny Bear booze. I think I'll just get the Gypsy that you recommend. I was intrigued by, you can get the sampler where you get 3 little ones of their 3 specialty gins. But I think I'll get the Gypsy because you recommended that was the best one. Yes, Safa, help your local business. So yeah, so when I posted on the socials that I'd got, I put it back in the fridge. Where is it? This one. The Regal Rogue. This is nice. This is a nice little drop. I could just drink this on. They recommend on here, put it on ice with some tonic. And I was thinking, yeah, I could probably do that. That would be pretty good. But that first cocktail I made was with that. Ugh. I'll post that on the socials tomorrow because the people from Regal Rogue said, yeah, make a white Negroni, which, as I said, is a problematic name for a drink, in all honesty. You just want to be really careful how you pronounce that. But the white Negroni. Ooh.
I'm not touching that.
Yeah, not touching that. Yes, apart from the urge to call it an M&M, but it's like, yeah. Kirsten, the Sailor is your absolute Navy strength. Fucking hell. Is that when you're saying the Sailor, was that the Tiny Bear distillery again? Yes. Oh yeah, okay.
What is Navy strength? Is that does it correlate to a proof?
Yeah, I think so. Well, I'm going to look it up now. Now we're talking. What the fuck is this website doing to me? They have drinks called the Gypsy, the Doctor, and the Sailor. What's the Sailor? $84. Have you ever wondered what Navy strength actually means?
Yeah.
We enter the British Royal Navy, an organisation that, like, very busy indeed, they found that you mix Navy strength, 57-58% with gunpowder, it still ignites it. So is that what proof?
I thought they drank it with gunpowder there for a second.
That's
very Navy.
I looked it up one point, like, because I thought, because you know, proof is double the alcohol content. So like 100 proof is 50% alcohol. And I actually looked up, why did they even say that? And it's because theoretically something that's more than 50% alcohol, if you put a grain of gunpowder in it and soak it in it and then take the grain of gunpowder out and light, it will still light. And if it's less than 50% alcohol, the gunpowder won't light, like the wetness will stop it from lighting. But over 50%, the alcohol content is sufficient, the gunpowder will still light. So that's why 50% is 100 proof. And that was a taxation thing. So, okay, so the Sailor is 50.
It would be considered more flammable, I suppose, and so harder to transport.
Barrel-aged Sailor, barrel-aged Gypsy. The Doctor, the Gypsy, the Sailor. So okay, so the Sailor is fucking 58%. What have I done here? Why is this fucking website fucking me up? What's the Gypsy proof?
Oh, so the bosun couldn't stiff the sailors on their rations. So what, they'd test their alcohol, make sure it was at least 100 proof.
Yeah, it was definitely a taxation thing. Stuff that was, because higher alcohol spirits is you could dilute them and still make money from them. So they would charge a higher excise on higher proof alcohols. And that's the thing that in Australia, overproof spirits attractive. Okay, I'm going to get the Sailor then. Fuck it. It's like 58% as opposed to 43%. Fuck it, man. Fucking go Navy strength. Fucking Navy strength. All right, you've sold me on that then, Kirsten. Sailor's your favorite. Navy strength. Put you on your ass. That will make for a good taste comparison. Bloody Tanqueray, which you can get anywhere, and a boutique Navy strength. Fuck yeah.
You'll have to come up with some sort of maritime cocktail name.
Oh no, they're
or something.
They're a very good Navy themed gin cocktails, definitely. Oh, Kirsten, you reckon I should get the 3-pack? Okay, I'll get the 3-pack. Oh, that's the obvious thing to do, of course, because then I can do a comparison, like how different do the three of them taste, and then compare it to something bog standard, like that's what I'll do, and then I'll have 4 cocktails to drink. Oh.
Quad fisting it.
Quad fist. Although, because Mrs. Angry likes gin, I'll find a gin cocktail that doesn't have citrus, because citrus tends to give her heartburn. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, but see, that's the thing. See, Kirsten, I had been under the mistaken impression that you don't really taste the difference between expensive spirits and bog standard spirits, and I have been proven to be extremely wrong in that by my own scientific experiments. Now, I've done it with bourbon. I should do it with gin as well. And say like, yeah, because Tanqueray, I'm not a gin drinker, and it's like Tanqueray is like, everyone says Tanqueray is okay, and it's like, but yes, if these other ones leave it in the dust, then yeah, all right. Fucking plan. Also, I love ordering stuff on the internet. I'm going to order it now. Fuck it. I'm ordering it now before I forget. Because you get presents. Like Mrs. Angry for her work orders a lot of books. And so she gets parcels delivered all the time. And I feel really jealous. It's like, you keep getting presents in the mail. I don't get any presents. Why don't I get presents? And she's like, I just ordered it off the internet. Fine. I'll go and order something off the internet then.
You get booze, though. She gets books.
Yes, and there you have the division in the Angry household.
Yes.
Mrs. Angry gets books on psychology and counseling, and Mr. Angry buys booze.
It's when she starts ordering the books on Alcoholics Anonymous or something that you have to start to worry.
Yes. Well, look.
That's when the intervention's coming.
She bought me. She bought me this.
Oh,
my
nice
present, and it's a really good book. I really like that book. Yeah, Kirsten, it's obviously not true that cheap stuff is the same in a cocktail. All right, so the Tiny Bear Trio, add to cart.
That one has your Navy strength in it?
Yeah, it has one of each. So, oh man, that's going to make for a really good comparison. Customer checking out as a guest. Nah, I'm going to subscribe to their newsletter. Fuck it. All right. Got to support local.
Safa, doesn't Angry get fan mail anymore? Wasn't VD going to send you another lovely letter?
Yeah, Celtic King said VD was out and was going to send me a letter accusing me of being responsible for him getting imprisoned. Joshua, what's that? The fashion hero participant. I don't know what that is, dude. But you know, at this stage of the night, I'm pretty susceptible to anything. You should tell me what that is. Shipping, billing. Okay, what are we doing here, guys?
Oh, excuse me.
Continue as a guest. Sure. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, is this going to autocomplete for me? No, it's not. I'm going to have to fill it all in. Get fucked. What do we even have technology for?
Makes our lives easier, doesn't it, Andrew?
Yeah. Okay, my address. What's my fucking address? Jesus. That's a difficult question at this point of night after 3 fucking bourbon cocktails. That's my address. That's my suburb. Australia. Yes, I'm in Australia. I'm in Victoria. What's my fucking postcode? I think I know what it is. You know what? I'm going to look it up because I'm just not real. I'm just not really sure.
Annette's got a question. WTF is Southern Comfort?
Ah, shit is what it is.
I don't know.
What was it? It's a bourbon derivative. What was interesting is Mrs. Angry, when we moved, found an ancient bottle of about quarter full Southern Comfort that she thought she'd had for a decade or more and whatnot. But it was actually much higher alcohol. Like often when you see Southern Comfort, it's under 40%. This was like 45 or 50% or something.
Did they just used to make it stronger, or
I guess I don't know.
Like an overproof one, or not overproof.
Yes, free shipping from Tiny Bear. My billing address is the same. It really is. Payment method. They don't do PayPal. God, you guys better have good security if I'm going to put my fucking credit card in. I really prefer PayPal. Right, okay. This is slightly complicated. No, I don't save cards on my Google account because I don't trust Google. Is it? I've got to remember, don't say these numbers out loud. Because I normally have to say things out. Oh, no, I did that wrong. Jesus.
Rebel Maddox Row. Southern Comfort is known for its ads, not for its comfort.
Nice. Expires 11/20. Get a new card this year.
Apparently, it tastes like cough syrup. If Annette
it's very sugary bourbon, I think.
No good for me, then.
All sales, checking ID. Yes, I agree with terms and conditions. Place order. Did I fill out the fucking form right?
Does anyone else hear your microphone going loud and then quiet occasionally?
I don't know. All right, Tony Dear's Spilleries. Well, thank you. Yay!
Is there a loose connector on your Yeti, or?
No, I don't know what that might be. I don't know.
I was doing it on our last live stream as well.
Rebel Maddox, Southern Comfort's known for its ads. I still remember. Take a shot, take a shot, take a shot, take a shot. What's the one that Matthew McConaughey advertises? He does like Jim Beam or Jack Daniels or something, doesn't he? Or yeah. See, Kirsten's agreeing. Southern Comfort's mostly sugar syrup. It's a really sweetened bourbon. But yeah, I think
just add a citrus and you've got an old fashioned, right?
Yeah, basically. But I got that. I got that from again helping Australian distillers. I got a Starwood premixed old fashioned. Jesus, that was really hard for me to get out. Why was that so difficult to get out? So yeah, that's basically just a sweetened whiskey with, in their case, wattle seed bitters.
Bitters. I forgot the bitters.
Yeah, no, you've got to put a bit of bitters and really bitter orange peel to add to it. It's the orange that I peeled for.
Got to do 2 eyes out of that next time you need it.
Yeah. But, you know, the orange oil from a bit of orange peel really makes an old-fashioned. I hardly ever garnish cocktails because I can't be asked. But an old-fashioned just hits next level with a bit of orange peel on it and just the orange oils on it. So I'm a big fan of. All right, so I keep saying I've run over, and it's now fucking 11 o'clock. Jesus, an hour.
Oh, wow.
Time flies. This is the thing. You people are all too much fun to hang out with. That's the whole thing. But I am going to go to bed. We'll be back tomorrow either for a regular live stream, or if I can work out how the fuck Netflix party works, we might do a Netflix party tomorrow night.
Message me if you need help.
That sounds like fun. So I might be hitting up Megaleech during the day. Yeah, actually, Megaleech, if you don't hear from me, message me on Facebook or something and say, did you remember that you were going to look at this?
Yeah. I'll be like, let's get this party started. Netflix party.
Because I might have forgotten that I said I'd do this.
Well, you have had a few. So.
Yeah.
So the alcohol haze.
I set it up.
I was going to do something today.
Yeah, there was something. Oh, Kirsten, I really did like the old fashioned. It's a really nice drop, like putting it in just like a rocks glass with a big chunk of ice. Wipe a bit of orange peel over it. Very relaxing. I think particularly, like I'm not going to get through that in a hurry, but I think when we get into the colder nights, just being able to have like probably, like a double serve of the old fashioned with a great big chunk of ice in there and some orange oil squeezed into it. I definitely give a thumbs up to the Starwood old fashioned. It is a very nice drop. Again, you have to be a bit of a whiskey drinker to like it. Mrs. Angry is not fond of it. She's going to enjoy it when I get these gins and I do some gin comparisons. She will be taking 1 or 2 of them with her when I make those. So it's good. All right, 11 o'clock. Fuck it. Going to bed. Thank you, Megaleech. Thank you, everyone in the chat.
Thanks everyone.
I'm sending out my spiritual love to the people who went in and out of the stream over the last 3 hours. Yes, and we'll be back tomorrow either just for a normal stream or maybe for a thing. Yes. Kirsten, I definitely, having learned my lessons, I'm definitely going to get some of the special Australian stuff and do a bit more of the Starwood. These gins will be coming in the mail, hopefully in the next week or so. Maybe by next weekend, I'll be able to do it, actually. Who knows? I don't know how long they take to make. They're only from Melbourne. It should get to me relatively quickly, but I don't know. Hey, Diana, thank you. Locust Trooper, I am up late, but I'm going to bed now. Ah, that's interesting, Kirsten. Get Mrs. Angry to try the Starwood Nova with tonic. It's whiskey for gin drinkers. Mrs. Angry is fond of a gin and tonic. got some of the Fever Tree tonic water here. Because again, that's a more expensive but much nicer tonic water. All right, going to bed. I keep saying I'm going to bed, and I keep being here. There's something fucking going on here. Yes, Kirsten, Australia Post sucks. Courier will bring it. Who knows? Good night, one and all. You are fabulous people. In the words of the immortal Jeff Fennick, I love yous all. And I'll see you again soon, hopefully. Bye for now.